So honestly, the biggest issue we have is communication. It's unfortunate, but that's what we need the TCs for.
Today, I wanted to share with you a sneak peek from my transaction coordination course, which the info will be included below, where I interview Bobbi Jo Justice. Bobbi Jo is a title expert with more than 20 years experience in the industry. We covered the title process, communication challenges, wire fraud, and a new type of fraud with online notarizations. Even though this is just a small part of what we cover in the entire course, I wanted to share with you because mastering these topics and building a strong relationship with your title company can set you apart as a transaction coordinator.
So, Bobbi, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, such a pleasure. So, Bobbi, would you like to introduce yourself and let us know a little bit more about you?
Of course. So, Bobbi Jo Justice, first international title that I've been in the business for over 20 years. I'm a dinosaur. Done this for a long time. Help clients to build their business through title insurance, and I love talking to people about it. So, thank you.
So if you don't mind, if you would like to let us know about the key responsibilities of the title company.
So pretty much we take over from the contract and handle till the closing. So once a contract is in place, and we can start at before a contract is in place. So let me make sure you guys understand. Yeah. If you need a title search done on a property, a lot of my investors want to find out what's owed on the property. If there's anything that they need to be clear about before they get into a contract, we can start that process. However, the title search takes a couple of days depending on the county. So it could take a little while before they would go under contract. But once you have a contract, that's when our process really starts. We go into a title search and we're going to send it to our title plant. Again, it's based off different counties. So there's different search parameters, but it's typically 3 to 5 days. And we're going to see what we need to clear. So we have to clear title, make sure that whoever is receiving that new title on the property has everything free and clear. There's no debts owed. There's no back taxes, no HOA liens, none of that, to be able to offer free title to them, clear title, and then they can move forward. So we are clearing all of those things. During that, it's called a procurement process. So once we have that search back, we go through it, review, see if there's any liens on it with a mortgage, see if there's any back taxes, if there's an HOA, then we need to order an estoppel. We need to verify the payoff amounts with the lenders, see how much they owe now currently, make sure taxes are good, all of that. And again, these types of situations, sometimes there's divorce, different things like that. So we have to make sure the right people are on title, handle all that. So it's a little bit of a process that we go through. And then from there, we work with the new lender. Unless it's a cash deal, we're working with the new lender to verify they have everything they need to move forward and handle those closing documents. We put together our CD. We put together the closing disclosure. We put our ALTA together, make sure everybody has their fees, their figures, and then we start scheduling closing and go from there. So it can be a couple weeks. Some of those things could take, we've had them take a year. There's different things that whatever could come up on title, but it's what we see on that search to help us to know where to begin and what we need to do.
You mentioned that there might be some issues that you discover during this search. What are the most common issues that you normally see, when you're running these type of title searches?
Yeah. So honestly, the biggest issue we have is communication. It's unfortunate, but that's what we need the TCs for, because one, they had a trusted resource with that realtor or already established with the TC. They get to us, they don't want to give us the information. We're like, we need your social. We need to be able to find pull your payoff. We need your phone number. We need to be able to talk to you. And it never fails that they're like a day before closing calling us. Well, we haven't heard from you, or we haven't ever. And you look through their emails, you look through all the messages. We have an online portal where we text, and they're like, oh, well, we just ignored those. Well, that's us trying to reach you.
Like,
so, it's sad, But honestly, that's our biggest issue is the communication. And it's just, we're trying to track a seller, a buyer, a loan officer, both agents. And sometimes there's sellers. I mean, we've had up to 12 sellers on a property before. So imagine 12 different people trying to schedule 12 different closings, 12 different personalities. It's a lot. So the closers are like, hey, I need this. They're going to send you an email. It's going to be quicker. This is what I need. And if they don't hear back from you, they're working on other files. They have to keep going back and keep going back. But some things get lost. We have to order things in a timely manner. And now we have to delay closing because we didn't hear from you. And that's the one thing. I've had people say, well, I was at work and whatever. Okay, well, leave us a message after hours or send us an email. We've gave you every way to communicate with us. We've reached out. We can only do so much. So communication is probably our biggest issue. After that, I think the things you find the most are going to be just maybe an error, or like you could find a cloud on the title due to somebody didn't sign something properly and you have to go back to the previous title company from before. Or maybe like with a divorce, finding out who owns what percentage of the property, like with the probates and death, things like that. You just have to verify the ownership. But communication is number one, our biggest issue.
And another thing that I think that is super risky, or at least is it scares me a lot. So I try to be super careful with that, is wire fraud. And you mentioned that Florida has a lot of fraud. I don't know if that is part of that.
Yes.
But would you like to give us a little bit of information about that? And I know that your company kind of uses a great system in order to minimize the possibility of, wire fraud.
Yeah. So our marketing guys, they love to talk about fraud. They love to talk about the risk. They are constantly sending us testers during the week. So if we click on the wrong email, they're like, oh, you clicked on it. That shows that you could have fell for a scam. That's their favorite thing to do. But it's good because two of the major underwriters last year, they got shut down for almost a month and could not do any closings. And that was because somebody in their company did something that they shouldn't have. They clicked something that they shouldn't have, shut everybody down because there's so much fraud and so much risk. So the one thing that we always say is we're going to verify for wire. So a lot of times for escrow, you're going to wire the funds. Closing costs, you're going to wire the funds. We have an online system that you can go on and do it. It's called instant escrow. So it's basically like just like you're depositing your check at your bank. You take a picture of it and you update your information, send it over. Now you can call us to verify, make sure everything went through, but that's physically on your phone to us. Should not be any issues. Wire instructions to actually wire the amount. We're going to send it out to you, but we only send it directly to the buyer. We will not send it to a seller. We will not send it to the realtor. We try at all costs to avoid anybody else as a risk so we can send it. And the reason being is it's not that the realtor's bad. It's their emails being hacked. We don't know what's happening on their side. So this way we can one-on-one send it to the buyer. We have them call to verify the ones that we just sent them are correct. Because as soon as they send that wire out, it's one digit off. Those scammers are good. They'll make the email look like it came from us with our logo. It'll be one, they'll misspell my name by one letter, or they'll do something, and that email will come back to them instead of us. And it's gone. As soon as you hit send and it's to the wrong person, it's gone within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that can be done. And that's somebody's down payment for a house, or that's all the money that they had been saving for. It's a sad situation, but it's scary because technology is only getting, better. And right now we do, I'm not sure if I told you, we do remote online notary closings. So it's like a FaceTime closing like this. Notaries are watching them to sign. But there was a recent hack where somebody put a filter on their face to look like the seller and match their ID.
Oh, wow.
So the new thing is we have to ask them, move your head, turn left and right, because the filter should move. But that technology will only get better. So that, it's a risk. But just know that you're there to secure. So if, you can call us and ask for the wiring instructions. Don't get offended when we say, great, give me the buyer's information, and we send it directly to them. Because it eliminates you from the risk, and that should make you feel good. I don't want to be a part of that. And then they'll call the office. We tell them, call the office before you hit send. and they get very frustrated by that. They call us and go, "Ugh, I was supposed to call you for this, da da da." Okay, well, I want to make sure it goes to the right one. And sometimes, no, that's the wrong number. Some hacker took this in the middle of it. So it's a good check system for everybody. And that's really what it is checks and balances to make sure that we can all get to closing. And
Absolutely.
hopefully there's no more risk,
Yes, no, definitely super, super scary. I personally, in all of my emails, I ask when I send a new contract, I always ask not to be included at all in the work
Right.
instructions. I don't want it. I don't
Yeah.
want anything to do with that because it's a good practice. Great,
Yeah.
great, great.
We send ours through a secure text. So it sends
Yeah.
them a text saying, expect this. Then the next one is it. And then it'll say, here's a link. It's only good for 15 minutes. If they don't click in that 15 minutes, they don't get the instructions. They have to call and do it all over again.
Right.
So they get a little frustrated, but it's extra checks. It's security.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Bobby, any other recommendations on how we transaction coordinators could potentially partner up with someone at title and, work together?
Yeah. So network, network, network. So I think the key is like I do a lot of events. So I always say the girls are in the office doing the real work on the files. I get to do the fun work. So I'm out going to realtor events. I'm kind of doing the whining and the dining, the hosting, that kind of thing. Come to our events. We're teaching a lot of classes to realtors. It doesn't hurt for that knowledge for you guys to go and listen as well. And then some of you guys are licensed too. So we do a lot of CE classes as well. You can get your continuing ed. But it's really working hand in hand with us. Call us, stop by, say, hey, because we're finding people constantly saying, I need a TC, or I'm getting busier and now I need a TC. I never thought I needed one before. Or my TC is not great and I need somebody who has taken these types of training and understand, the process and what we can do. Those are the key things to really work with us. We're willing to work with you. Honestly, it's such a blessing when we see that they have a TC. We're like, oh, yes. It's exciting because I feel like they're busy, they're not focused, but they have you guys to rein them in. And it gives us another person to reach out to say, help, we can't get a hold of this person. We need to schedule this closing, whatever it may be. So I think that's crucial, is establishing that relationship with us. And we can, just give us a call, just, set up that relationship with me. I'm always out and about. So I'm constantly having people call me saying, I just need a good TC. Great, Cecilia, call her, that kind of thing. So I can set that up for you guys as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bobby. And where can we find you?
Yeah. So my contact information is below with my logo. Follow me on social media. I have a YouTube channel. It's got different tutorials and things for investors. It's got testimonials. I think you're even on a testimonial on there. So I've got different things like that, but social media is the rage. So that's really where we're going to post all of our events, and you can reach me at any time.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Bobby, for, all the information you shared with us today. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thanks.